Way to Perfection. Message at Tinsukia on 25th 11, 1977. My prayer is that this auspicious day, on which the inauguration of the meditation hall at the Tinsukia Center of the Mission should prove the harbinger of good future to all Abhyasis of the mission in India and abroad, and in particular to those of Tinsukia Center. The general idea that fills Abhyasis is that the items of practice taught to them are all that is needed to take them up to the final state of evolution. Their thought does not run beyond this at all. We indicate Raj Yoga as our foundation, and it is so in fact. Their ideation does not reach down to its depths, and it just stops short with the observance of the rules. But it is certain that in Sahajmarg, the fragrance of Pranahuti indwells, but still the factors that get left behind are love and devotion. Along with the act of meditation, it is essential that these should also inhere therein. It has been necessary for me to stress the mingling of the facets together, since by doing this, the sadhak may be able to reach his goal very soon. It is your responsibility to engender these factors in yourself. The means consist in endeavoring to maintain the remembrance of the principle, that is Ishwar, God. Even here, the objection can be put forward by some that by this effort, the mind gets so tired that perhaps it can retain this only for half a day. Pause here for a second.
Yeah. The main thing what I got is it is their ideation does not reach down to its depths, but just stops short with the observance of the rules. So it is Master says in the first commandment, right? To get the pulse, we need to dive deep into the ocean. So just following the practices is one, but the key thing here is love and devotion. And that has to be mingled together along with the meditation. And the other thing is to go to the depths of Raj Yoga, in addition to just following the practices and the rules. Anything to add? Any questions?
I mean, Master is also given in the next paragraph. I was wondering when he said love and devotion, he is also given that is how to do that, and that is a remembrance of the principle, that is Ishwar in God. I guess constant remembrance is the key, he's saying.
Yes. Yeah, maintain the remembrance.
And also, I think he's clarifying, as Dr. Madhavaji has said many times, that constant remembrance is not like this continuous remembrance. So the mind gets tired is not the, I think here also is giving the idea that it is a suggestion that works and not like a bhajan or something like that. Like shutting down all your other activities and simply doing this might create that heaviness in the mind, but that is not the way I think he's saying you just give a suggestion and let it work.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what is coming forward. But I think right now it just puts a question that people may think that the mind gets tired and then he's giving the solution as in the next two paragraphs.
Okay, should I continue, Vaya?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Whatever act you do it in the thought, it is the divine's command, and therefore it is my duty to do so. So that the state of remembrance should continue steadfast. And one special benefit that accrues is that the creation of samskaras, impressions, ceases. Retaining the remembrance of God at all times engenders in us a deep attachment to the divine and leads to the state in which love for him develops and devotion attains its full form. Gradually, through this, devotion attains its full form. It is therefore very essential to adopt this procedure.
Madhava is there. So this gradually, yeah, go ahead.
बोलो क्या है?
Yeah, gradually through this devotion attains its full form. So just if you can elaborate on that, because there are shades of devotion, right?
वो बोलो तो the mind devotion full form है बोलो तो mind becomes disciplined. It is capable of if you order the mind to think for 4 hours on divinity, it will do it. So discipline आ जाता. That means you will be only doing or thinking which is goal oriented. Or even if you're doing your day-to-day work also, you're dedicating it completely to the master. There'll be sincerity in whatever you're doing. So, you all works, whether the differentiation between spiritual and material ends there. And then every work is an offering to God. And your mind will be constantly in the presence of the master. So that is the full form of devotion. And where your intellect, your feeling faculty, your will, your sense organs, motor organs, they'll be all be engaged in the service of the divine actually. That is full form of devotion. Abhi kya hai? Now we are thinking about master for 1 hour in the morning meditation. So that thinking to a certain extent will generate love for the master. But there's a gap. We indulge, we allow our mind to get immersed in the worldly matters, forgetting God. So during that time, there's a gap there. During that gap, see the forces which are against God, they will be strengthened actually. So if you maintain a continuous link, then gradually the mind, the subconscious mind will be purified, and it reaches a certain stage of purification where following 10 commandments becomes like a habit or a natural way of living actually. You live naturally the 10 commandments. Then you can feel that you have got full devotion. Okay. Now we are training our mind. It's all training now. So when you meditate in the morning, do purification, 9 p.m. prayer, bedtime prayer, we're training our mind so that the subconscious mind gets purified. And then a stage comes when it becomes purified, it will spontaneously and naturally starts thinking about God, starts living in God. Like that. It's a training. As you train sincerely, the mind gets purified, and purified mind alone can feel God continuously. So now we have to make a lot of sincere effort to do prayer and then sit in meditation. Then we are in touch with God for only a small percentage of our 24 hours. So he wants that should be become continuous. That is his main teaching actually. He says it should be, you should constantly, the goal should be in your view always. Like yesterday's daily saying, he says, if the destination is not in view, you will not reach anywhere. The same way, if you take third commandment, he says, fix up your goal, which should be complete oneness with God. If you're not fixed up your goal, you'll not reach the destination. So that is one of the main central teaching of his. In yoga, you should have a goal clearly in your view, so that all your activities are motivated to reach that goal. That should be the idea. And if you train, then the devotion will achieve full form. And when the devotion achieves full form, you will be spontaneously living in the consciousness of Master, doing the work of the Master. You will not be even aware that you are doing the work of the Master. You will be so absorbed in his thoughts. It's a question of training, how you train yourself. Okay, you can carry on.
Okay. The second need is good behavior and conduct. That is, we should never act in such a way that anyone can lift a finger against us. The rules of our daily life and of behavior towards all should be very good and straightforward. By acting so, you derive pleasure and happiness, and a state of peace will of itself begin to blossom inside you. Through thinking of the divine, devotion and love develops. Love develops. I will certainly say this development of attachment is your job and your very important duty. If you do not do this, you do not carry out the duty imposed on every service-minded abhyasi, and the characteristic of a fakir and of a man consists in this, that your duty discharge gets completed. Sorry, I'll repeat that, sir. I will certainly say this development of attachment is your job and your very important duty. If you do not do this, you do not carry out the duty imposed on every service-minded abhyasi, and the characteristic of a fakir and of a man consists in this, that your duty discharge gets completed. Truth lies in this, that we keep turning our vision inward. If you do this, your condition will stay there wherefrom the substance came to us. That is, we make a mark on the true treasure house. Now it is left to us just to develop the form of expansion. This form of expansion takes birth when, along with practicing meditation on the divine, the endeavor is maintained to keep our vision more and more turning inward. If the true craving for attainment of the divine is developed in you, it takes no time to achieve success. You are reaching out for bliss, and I am talking of craving and restlessness. But brother, the happiness that this craving and restlessness bring is never obtained in peace. When restlessness increases and reaches the limit, crosses the limit of strength, then the beginning of real peace starts. moving. My strong desire is that I should give people an inkling of the final state of spiritual evolution. Teachings of natural path are of the highest because it teaches the maintenance in view of one's final goal. It is necessary for any teaching which aims to assist in the attainment of the highest to be of the highest order. My restlessness lies in this, that you should continue to be restless to achieve the goal of attainment of the divine, which alone can give me real peace. To the extent that you are restless in this manner, to that extent peace will accrue to me. If you believe and remember this, that for all the service rendered by me to people, the return that comes to me is peace, then the only method for you is to remain restless. Let us get so deeply involved in the thought of this that no thought arises at all of that.
Just one question. Truth lies in this, that we keep turning our vision inward. If you do this, your condition will stay there where from the substance came to us. And that is how we make a mark on the true treasure house. What would you understand with this substance? Which substance is hidden? Anyone? This seems to be the key, right, in terms of our realization. Ravi?
I guess when he says substance, it means the from where we started, the initial or maybe the reflection of divine that we have, each one of us has in us. The base,
Sorry, what did you say? Each one of us has what?
The base, basically from where we all have come, right? That original thought or
Srinivas?
Yeah, I also feel. I think from the origin, I don't know. The first thought that came to me was like Bhuma, or the base. Probably that is where the original descent has happened. So I think maybe that's what Master is referring to, that there is what I was thinking.
I think what I'm wondering is more with respect to how do we relate this with our experience in the meditation, right? Base Bhuma, all that is, those are words, but not that something that I understand, right? So
maybe we can understand it this as a true silence or inner silence, which is pervading all throughout. So when we say that, when we treat master's silence and or the original thought or purest form of thought, that is the when we meditate, we feel that inner silence, and that inner silence is referred as substance. That's what is, I think so. That could be the reference.
So you're saying silence is that substance that he's talking about, or it's the experience of that substance?
Where from that substance came to us. So that substance, yeah, I think what we experience is the silence, deep innermost silence that we feel. So that innermost silence is nothing but of nature of a divine or pure consciousness. So the substance is what we experience in terms of if at all we want to correlate, we can correlate with the silence that we experience.
Okay, good. That's good. Anyone else wants to see how? Because again, as I was going through this just before our session, right? It's just the more we are able to correlate it with our experience, I think the more we will understand. So that's the idea of having this discussion. So as I was going through this, what I felt that when he's talking about the substance, and again, I was listening to some video on Mandukya Upanishad by Swami Sarvapriyanand. He gives an example of a gold ornament and then saying that yeah, all the ornaments are different, but the gold is the substance from which it is made, right? And so do we say that it is a bangle or is it a necklace, or do we say that it is gold, right? And when we turn our attention inward, so then I was thinking that what is the substance that we are made of? So when we think from that perspective, the substance that we are made of, first my thought went on to more in terms of the physical substance, right? That we talk about, then it's about the Panchamahabhutas. Right? When we go more and more deeper into it, and then when we talk about the substance, if we say I, right, it is more about the thoughts that we are made of. And then if we go more deeper in terms of, okay, where is that arising from, or what is that is driving us? What came to me, what occurred me was maybe here he is talking about pranasya prana. So prana that keeps us running, and when here it says that if you do this, your condition will stay there where from the substance came to us. So the pranasya prana came from the base, Bhuma or Ishwar and God. To be in the condition of God. And that is how then I was interpreting this and just wanted to share that.
And the next statement in that it is that where from the substance came to us, that is, we make a mark on the true treasure house. That concluding part, the true treasure house is giving us that we are in the eyes of the master, or we are in the vision of the divinity. So that is the true, like we are able to feel that presence or silence or the fragrance of the divinity or master, and that is nothing but we are approaching, and we are in that vicinity or in the field of the master. So that's what we can interpret. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
We can interpret. That's my understanding.
Yeah. So then when related, like Ravi said, right, relating it with our meditational experience is important. When we receive the pranabhuti, right, we feel that as a silence, as a blankness, just as an empty space where there is nothing. Um, and that is how we can at least our faith should become more stronger, that this is the treasure house that is there. And then what he talks about is more about the restlessness, and the more and more restlessness we develop to be in that condition. Okay, yeah. Anyone wants to just summarize the chapter that we completed?
So I can summarize in a couple of sentences, Dharmesh.
Sure.
I think Babuji starts with by saying that while pranahuti is definitely helpful in this system and very important, what is also required is love and devotion and constant remembrance. So if he, and he also explains how we can develop love and devotion and constant remembrance, how it can be practiced by, thinking that every act that we do is basically we are doing for divine. And once we have this three and we are able to put it in practice, then our condition basically, uh, comes to the place where it is like that substance thing that we spoke about. And then it basically also emphasizes the importance of restlessness, basically to have it so that we can reach, the goal that, is defined. That is basically pretty much in summary what.
Okay.
So love, devotion, constant remembrance are, you can say, the ingredients for us to take to that condition from where the bhuma or the base condition is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. One else?
And also, I think restlessness is important because Sir also has written in many places that I guess the peace and the calm is so engulfing that you might take those intermediate stages as the final stage. And so without having that restlessness, you can't move forward, or you are stuck with the intermediate goals. I mean, intermediate stages or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So just a few things, right? Is one is that when we are in constant remembrance, we do not form impressions, we do not form the samskaras, and that is the other key, and that is the benefit that we get because of the constant remembrance. So um, when we look at it more from the practical aspect, uh, because people will think that constant remembrance is heaviness in the mind, or it is something, how is it going to benefit? And this is the benefit that we get, and that is how we also develop the love and devotion. The thing is, it's developing love and devotion is our duty. That's the other thing that he mentioned. So I think in one of the talks, sir mentions, right, that he thought that it is something that would come, but it is all our duty to develop the love and devotion. And as Nivas mentioned, right, we are attached to the happiness or the peace, and this is where he clarifies that the happiness that this craving and the restlessness bring is not there with the peace. So that is how we should, the more craving that we have, that much more we progress. And the last thing is what Master says, right? The more we are restless, the more craving that we have. That much, he says, that will give a peace to me. So that much Master will get the peace. So at least that's the minimum thing that he's expecting for all the service that he's doing to us. So this is what I think one of the key thing that I feel, right, that the more we can be restless, that much we are reciprocating in terms of the service that he's rendering to all of us.
Also, I think there is a seminar paper, no, Bhaiya, on this. Let
Yeah.
us get deeply the thought of this that no thought of.
No, not that one. The seminar is on this. Whatever activity,
okay.
do it in the thought
Okay.
of the Master.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other one is this and that have gone now. So
okay.
it's from a different chapter.
From a different talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we then read one Silence Speaks article? Or we want